Hope you're doing well today. Staying cool. My gosh, it is hot here in Texas. While we're waiting on folks to join, remind y'all to go to coopedup.com. Check out what I post there. You can follow me on other social channels, particularly on Instagram. I'm Cooped Up is my handle there. Wherever you are watching or listening to this, be sure to click on the notification bell so you get notified when I go live or post new content. And last but not least, if you text me at 214-949-8599, that's not a jingle, you can get on my text blast list, which I don't do very often, but I plan to do it starting next week again for Amazon Prime Day. So if you want in on the deals, the Prime Day deals, text me at that number. Just say, hey, and I'll get you signed up. I promise it's not spammy. So, hey, Mama, good to see ya. My mama's here. Oh, man. So, do you see this right here? There's another one right there. And there was, I had another one somewhere else. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what it is. But Todd thinks I'm falling apart because I'm like, oh, I don't feel, I didn't feel well one day last week. And now I've got this lymph node is a little tender today. My ear was clogged this morning when I woke up. I'm breaking out. Like, what is going on? I think I'm allergic to everything this year. Like, literally the air I am allergic to this year. Are y'all having the same issue? I mean, nothing is working. Nothing is working at all. And also I'm sleepy. I literally just woke up. I've been taking a nap like every day. And I am not a good napper. I do not enjoy it at all. Hopefully these aren't collectively. I'm afraid to go to WebMD and put in all of these symptoms and to see what it connects to. I'm calling it allergies as long as I can. How about that? So, and the big news of the day is ERCOT, the electricity, the interestingly named ERCOT, Electricity Reliability Council of Texas, I believe is what that stands for. The R is definitely reliability. Whatever. So they have, they're the ones that totally failed us back in February when the Texas power grid was started to fail and was within minutes of total and complete collapse that would have taken weeks, if not months, for us to recover from, right? So now today they announced opposite weather today because it's pushing 100 degrees and it's 1,000% humidity in Dallas right now. I assume the rest of Texas is the same. They put out a warning earlier that they need us to conserve because we are nearing the breaking point of the system again. And this is worse to me. Give me a cold house. I mean, I don't want a cold house for a week, but give me a cold house for a little bit, and I get her some blankets and put on a robe and a jacket and maybe turn on the fireplace and all that stuff. There's nothing that you can do when it's this hot outside. Nothing at all. And then also all your refrigerated stuff goes bad. At least in the freeze, you could take it and throw it in your backyard and it would stay good. But so they're asking people comically to from now until Friday to raise their thermostats to 78 degrees, to which I say, no fucking way that's going to happen for me. We have ours set at like 68. We might, if we're like being a little generous with the power, be like, okay, we'll raise it to 70. But no, you are not getting me to 78 degrees in my house. I have a generator. I would rather fire that up and use the generator than go up to 78 degrees. 78 degrees. How do people sleep? Because here in Texas, it doesn't get cool at night. It just gets dark. That's what I always say. So no. And then they also said turn off your pool pumps, which I'm totally fine with, because in my opinion, pool season is officially over in Texas. Like, pool season is not the summer months. It is pool season is like March through May, early June, and then the pool's too fucking hot. So June and July and August, nope, not going to the pool. Maybe if there's like a freak cold front that blows in. And then September, October, November again, our pool season also. So, but hard no to 78 degrees. Monica's saying Nope. Also, Monica is the same as me. We keep our houses like meat lockers, according to other people. And my mom is saying it is 82 degrees there. It's dropped in the last couple of hours. Here it has not, because I haven't been outside in about an hour, but I went to pick up the kids and it was so hot, so humid, so hot. And so on Friday, I was watching, I think it was on Friday, maybe it was on Saturday. We didn't go outside at all this weekend. I think I walked outside to get in my car to drive to the Walmart to pick up some groceries and come back home. I think that was the extent of my outdoor activities this weekend because it was so hot. I was watching the news, the Channel 8 News, WFAA here in Dallas, the ABC affiliate, and they do this like survey thing at the beginning of the broadcast. They'll say, everyone, let us know. Either text us or go online to WFA.com or whatever and tell us what you do. And it was like, what do you set your thermostat at? And it was like 4%, like 4% of people said 69 or lower. Then only like 20% said 70 to 74. And then the remainder, like the other 75%, whatever the math is on that, said 75 or higher. I'm like, okay, first of all, I had to take into account it's a bunch of old people watching the 5 o'clock news. My grandfather, my late grandfather, we would have to fight him to turn the AC down because he kept his house so hot. So I get that. But my gosh, and it was funny, Cynthia Isagire, who is a very, very sweet anchor on the network, she was like, oh, I guess people are just trying to save money. And the other guy was like, hell to the no. We are not doing that. They must be old and on blood thinners. Yes, exactly. And Diane, who used to be a mail carrier, says, I am glad I retired from carrying the mail. Summers were the worst. And then you got to wear the uniform and all of that. Yes. And Suzanne's son, Riley, is at Boy Scout camp right now, sleeping outside and doing everything outdoors. Oh, hell no. And my mom is saying it's sprinkled there. They're down in the College Station area. It looked like it was going to a little bit ago. Like I said, I have not been outside in an hour. I actually came in. I was just so spent from walking outside to my car to get the kids and coming back. I fell asleep in the chair. So, I mean, just nuh-uh. And they've got us on this conservation until Friday. So today's day one. We got, and a lot of it is it's not that the system can't handle it. It's that the generators keep going offline, which is exactly what happened in February as well. I know, right? And Eric is saying our thermostat is at 72 year round. It is not changing this week. I agree. Like I said, ours is set. I think we have 4 units. We don't run all 4 of them. One of them is in kind of an area of the house that's a little bit sunken underground. So that one doesn't have to be run that much, only when it's like crazy hot. So it actually might be running right now. But the other 3 units, we have them somewhere between 68 and 70, depending on the insulation in that part of the house, what rooms it's cooling, all that, where we are in the house. Like there's, I jokingly call it upstairs, the bedrooms, the residence. And we can let that get a little bit warmer in the daytime, but it has got to be cold. I get a blanket actually and put it on the bed in the summertime because I need my bedroom so cold that it needs a blanket. And I know that's very counterintuitive, total first world problem, but yeah. Jackie is saying her friend's daughter is doing lacrosse camp here in Fort Worth, and she said several kids have had to leave due to heat exhaustion. I mean, my gosh, even I got in my car earlier, and I love my Range Rover. I love it, love it, love it. Great car. Never had any problem with it that people claim that they've had with theirs. There's one feature that is totally and completely lost on me. Well, I'm actually of 2 minds on it. So one of the things that this is a really bougie conversation. One of the things that the air conditioner and the heater do is that they will not blow hot air out of the vents in the summertime, and it will not blow cold air out of the vents in the wintertime. What it does is you get in the car, start it, it primes up the climate control system, and I don't know where it sends the air. I assume it sends it just out the sides or something. And then when the air is cool enough to actually start cooling the car, that's when the vents start blowing. Same with the heater. When it is cold outside, it will warm up the air before it starts to blow it out, right? That sounds all well and good, but I don't know. Sometimes moving hot air is still better than no air at all, like the stagnant air. And then I don't want to roll the window down because suddenly I got the allergy attacks too. And on top of all that, I barely drive anywhere. So my office is a stoplight and a stop sign and a stoplight, and then a right turn and another stoplight from here. It takes me, if I hit that one stoplight between the two, green, I have maybe a 3-minute ride in the car to work, and the AC doesn't come on. So then I'm like dying. Ugh. Eric is saying, who is a teacher, says kids didn't even go out for recess today because it was so miserably hot. It was fine by me. Claire told me that they did not go out for recess today either. Yeah, crazy. I'm like, can we do a rain dance or something? Can we collectively like do some sort of chant or something to get the rain back? Because, even Texans don't like this heat at all. I don't know anyone who likes this heat. And we complain about it, and we'll say in the blizzard, we're like, oh, I'll take 3 months of heat to not have a week of snow. I'm really rethinking that right now. Oh, and Monica says, I need a moped. Funny you mentioned that. Todd and I were talking about that very thing this morning. There's a guy who plays tennis across the street, and he comes in on a moped, and it is so cute. But I'm scared of other drivers on a moped, like if I'm on a moped. So, hey, Sandy, good to see you. You hate the heat too. Yeah. Did y'all get a blue alert? The Texans in the room. Did y'all get a blue alert today? I didn't even know what that was. All of a sudden, because I have all the, I thought I had all the, I don't get amber alerts. I don't get silver alerts. I have all the alerts turned off on my phone. And I know that sounds like I'm a dick, but you know what? If a kid's kidnapped, it's almost always the non-custodial parent. Like, just look there. You're probably, and I'm not going to find a kid who's been kidnapped in Abilene, in my neighborhood, most likely. So, and I just don't like, it scares the shit out of me when Amber Alerts go off. Like enough, like I want to vomit. Like it's gross. So the blue alert went off, and I guess I don't have that one turned off. And the blue, I didn't even know what it was. So a blue alert is when a law enforcement person gets shot and they're looking for a fugitive who shot an armed and dangerous fugitive. And they're like naming this, the what he's wearing and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know where it was. It was like an hour west of Dallas, I think, maybe like 45 minutes west of Fort Worth. So Jack's like, how do you turn them off? I get them at like 6 a.m. and it drives me nuts when it wakes. I know. And it's never in a lovely time in the middle of not that sound is lovely, but it's never in the middle of a day or anything. And what cracks me up is if you're like in a movie theater or something and they go off, I'm like, what the hell am I doing in a movie theater with this? So there is a setting. If you have an iPhone, there's a setting in it. I'll look it up and message you on how to turn off alerts. I'll turn off alerts. I'm making a note to myself. Text me also or message me if you don't hear from me within the next 10 minutes after I'm off. That means I've probably forgotten. But anyway, today is Flag Day. Did you know that Flag Day is not a national holiday? I found that very interesting. Like it's the day that we honor the adoption of I looked it up. The adoption of the American flag as our official Star-Spangled Banner, as our official symbol, and all of that. And it's not a national holiday. That's why you got mail today. That's why you got all of this stuff. Yeah. Carrie's saying she just got here. Hot as balls. I know. Carrie, I have been telling people about our lunch on Friday at Restoration Hardware and about how expensive it was, $300 for the two of us. And I know you're like, but we had 2 drinks and 2 appetizers. But then we also only had a salad and some French fries. And my salad was $34. And other people I've told are like I told Arden at my office, and she's like, yeah, it's hella expensive. Like, I don't know when the bloom falls off of that rose, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that restaurant. And just how like strangely bougie it was. And it is gorgeous, Jackie. It is a gorgeous, stunningly beautiful restaurant. But I will also text you the menu so you can see it, because they do the QR code thing, which is driving me nuts, wearing me out. Can we get back to paper menus, please? We now know that COVID-19 is not a surface transmitted disease. It is the air you breathe. So a paper menu is not going to give you COVID, largely, mostly. It's not contact based. It's airborne. So unless you're licking the menu, which you deserve anything you get if you're licking the menu. And Carrie saying, yeah, so many people have been like, what? Yeah. Weren't the truffle fries, the little basket of truffle fries, the bowl of truffle fries, they were like $18, weren't they? And that shit, did it have actual real truffle on it? I hope it did, not just some truffle oil or truffle essence or something. Yeah, and $300 and not a stitch of. Can you imagine if we had actually ordered the steak or whatever? That is crazy. Sandy wants the menu too. I'll text you the menu when remind me if I don't remember. And you're surprised, and it was just truffle oil on the fries. Yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised it was bougie. And actually, one of the people that I saw commenting on it on Instagram also is as bougie or not bougier than me, and eats out and eats out and all that, and is used to expensive places. But even she was like, I took a friend there, and we didn't even drink, and it was like $200, and we didn't even do anything special. I mean, that is an expensive lunch. There's a lot of people splitting food there too. I noticed. I noticed that after we had already ordered. And again, I guess maybe that is the benefit to the restaurants of the QR code menus, is that you're struggling just to read it, that you don't necessarily notice all of the details. Yeah. Carrie. Oh, Carrie just put in the comments the menu so y'all can see the Restoration Hardware menu there. My friend Meredith today, I don't know if Meredith is watching, but Meredith texted me earlier and she goes, will you ask Carrie if she has tried the frozen mussels from Aldi? Because she buys salmon there. She says the salmon is fantastic. The fresh salmon is fantastic. So I'm actually planning to go there because we're out of salmon. We eat a lot of salmon in this house. Can I say salmon one more time? But she was asking if we have had the mussels, and I have not. I didn't even notice that they had frozen mussels. But she was like, I really want to try them, but I'm a little like skeeved out by it also. My thing is, nothing that we have had from there has been bad. It has all been like terrific quality, like just as long as you don't get the flavorings and stuff. I don't like things that are pre-seasoned for the most part. And when Sandy's saying love the fresh salmon at Aldi, she sent me a picture of it. This is how exciting my texts are, that my friends are sending me photos of the salmon that they bought at Aldi. And it looked really good, largely because it looked the same. It looked like the same thickness all the way through, because it drives me nuts when you get salmon, like you order it from Tom Thumb or Walmart or Amazon Fresh, and you get it and one end is like this thick, and then the other end just kind of disappears into a fish whisper. And you're like, how do I fucking cook that? Because either one end is not going to be cooked enough or the other end is going to be overcooked. And you have not tried the mussels, but you're not a fan because you don't like the chewy grit of mussels and clams. I love Saloom has the best mussels in town. They serve them over French fries with an aioli sauce. It is so, so good. Yeah. So, and Sandy went to the rando aisle and bought a patio umbrella, 7.5 feet for $25. That's good stuff. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that. So I'm going to tell her she needs to be the guinea pig on the mussels and then report back to me so I can report back to y'all. How about that? I told you we didn't go outside very much this weekend. We watched a lot of TV, and that's not our thing. Like I'm not a big sit down and binge watch TV person. I'll watch a little bit here and there. And we watched like 5 episodes of the new Netflix show Sweet Tooth. The kids and Todd were really into it. It's okay. I mean, it's an interesting show. It's an interesting concept. It's really beautifully shot. I kind of got into it after I don't know, it's just some Stockholm syndrome at that point where I'm like, okay, I'm in it. Let's just watch it. It's a show. It's kind of a dystopian show. If you haven't seen it, about this virus. I mean, this unknown thing, like this virus takes over the world, right? And everyone has to hunker down. What? And no one knows what's causing it. What? And how to get rid of it? Huh? It was very much like, oh, this is very timely. And it's from like a graphic novel or comic book or something from a long time ago. The little twist on it is there are these hybrid children who have animal qualities. So there's like a little girl that has like a pig nose. The main character has antlers and the cutest little animatronic ears you've ever seen on television. His name is Gus. And so you're watching it, and the people don't know whether the virus caused their hybrids or the hybrids caused the virus. And there's lots of social commentary in it on those points. It's very, very actually, even if you're not into that sort of thing, it's a very interesting show to watch. You have to watch past episode 1 just for kind of the commentary on like modern, like our reactions to things. It's a really interesting show in that sense. So maybe I liked it better than I thought. The weirdest thing on it, though, is y'all know Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live? So he's the kid's dad. And he's in the early part of the show. I might have just given away something, but nothing significant. But he's in the early part of the show, and it is so weird watching him in like a dramatic role. Like I keep thinking, oh, this is a Saturday Night Live skit about a deer boy. Like this is like, it's just so weird. Have y'all watched it and thought the same thing? Like, oh, he's just one of those actors. I don't think I could ever see him in anything else than Saturday Night Live. Like he's just, it's lost on me on that. And then we watched the final episodes of Hacks, which I've talked about that before. Such a good show with Gene Smart. Really funny, very well written, all of that. And then we started to watch Mayor of Easttown. I am not into that show. And I've not even gotten far enough into it where I've seen Gene Smart, because she's in that one also. And supposedly she makes the show. I am so annoyed by Kate Winslet's accent in this. And I know it's probably realistic for that part of the United States of America and small town up in New England. But you know what? I don't want to listen to it and watch it. So I bailed. I don't know how much more Todd watched. He was watching it. He likes any of those little small town detective shows. But I was like, no, I just can't get past it. And it sounded so like, there's another movie that I adore, but the accents drive me nuts on it as well until I get past them. And Eric, you're going to take away my gay card on this one, but it's still Magnolias. The first like 20 minutes of that movie, I feel like everyone is trying to outdo each other on the Louisiana accents. Even to this day, I'm like, oh Lord, they're just, oh, everything is sugar is sweet, all of that. And then, but then it seems like either you get used to hearing it, or I think they may lose the accent more towards the end. They're not trying quite as hard towards the end of that movie. I don't know if Mayor of Easttown is the same thing. Carrie's saying I've heard people say her Philly accent is great, but I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, and Hannah is saying Mayor of Easttown starts slow, but we really loved it. It was just really a slow start for me also. Like that is, I don't like a lot of setup. Like I'm even reading books, and Hannah, you read more books than anyone I know. I need a book that just throws you into it and lets you figure out who people are while you're reading it. That's why I love The Pilot's Wife. I know that's an old book from like 2002, something like that. I love The Underground Railroad by Colton Whitehead because it just kind of throws you in and then you figure people out. There's a couple of other books I've read that are the same. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, I think is his last name. Also a great book. But I don't need a lot of setup. It just bores me. So I think that's also why I think that pilots of most TV shows, like that first episode, are not my favorite. I don't think anyone likes pilots because there's too much I'm going over here because of, instead of just going over there and then we figure it out. Sorry, my just freaking allergies. I'm trying to cut back on my drinking too, as I've said, so I'm drinking later. I only have 2 more topics here real quick. This one is a little bit political. So the Southern Baptist Convention is meeting in Nashville right now. I think they started today, this afternoon maybe. And there was a big article I was reading about it. And I think it was in the Wall Street Journal. That's usually where I read my stuff in the mornings. And there was a quote in it from one of the leaders saying, "Our Lord is not woke." Because it was talking about people wanting to be more liberal or more conservative or whatever in the church, and about how they're losing members big time because they're not like keeping up with the pace of society. And the hardliners are like, "Nope, that's just the way it is." And everyone else is like, "Well, we're leaving. Bye." They lost like 2 million members like in the last couple of years, right? It's a big deal. But this quote, "Our Lord is not woke," was the quote of the guy. And I'm thinking, Monica's saying I have dropped. Are you still seeing me? What? Are y'all seeing me? Let me know if you still see me. I'm just talking. I will give it a second on that. Am I here? Am I here? Please say something. I see it. Okay, good. Y'all see me. Other people see me, Monica. I'm going to type her real quick. Others see me still. Good. So anyway, so our Lord is not woke. Here's my thing on that. Let's pick back up on that. When did woke become a negative thing? Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, it is almost like it's been taken and used against us. To me, maybe my definition of it is different. My definition of it is actually very Christian, very Christ-like. Is woke to me means if you find out that someone wants to be treated a certain way and it does no harm to you to treat them that way, then that is you're suddenly awake or woke. Your eyes have been opened to that person's trials and tribulations, plights, all of these things. And even if it does convenience me in some way because I have to rethink my words or whatever like that is do unto others as you would want done unto you, that kind of thing, right? Like, to me, like, Lord is like extra. Lord is like the original woke. Jesus for sure was the original woke man, right? So I just do not get that. And I do not get people using woke as an insult. Like, "Oh, you're so woke," or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I am. Because you know what? If you want me to call you macaroni and cheese, I'm fine with calling you macaroni and cheese. It might take me a few times to remember that that's what you want to be called, because I've called you something else for 30 years. But I'll get there. I will eventually get there. That is what just burns me up when I hear people using that phrase in a negative sense. I just do not get it. And especially when you pull Christ into it and God and religion and all that stuff. Because, I do pray. I do believe in God. I'm not super religious. We don't go to church very much, but I'm also very private about it. I don't proselytize. I'm not trying to get anyone else on board. I'm like, you do you, I'll do me. Hopefully I see you somewhere soon. So like I say, now I want some mac and cheese. Your woke dinner. And I have seen Eric is saying, unfortunately, all too many Christians in this country don't care to be woke. So many are wrapped up in hate and judgment that they totally look at being woke as a bad thing. Yes, I have a name for a lot of that. Cafeteria Christianity. And cafeteria Christianity is where you show up to the biblical buffet and you say, "You know what? I want the yummy things. I want that fried fish patty. I want the mac and cheese, the fried okra, the chocolate cream pie." Guess who's been to Luby's at some point in their lives? But you know what? I want everyone else to have to eat the disgusting liver and onions, because that's what the Bible says you have to do. That is cafeteria Christianity, where you pick and choose from the biblical buffet. I made that up. Anyway, and then I have seen, just last thing, I have seen a lot of families whose kids I know are still in school. Their school district is still in school, who are not in school anymore. And I'm just musing about this. This is not judgment. Everyone do what you do. But it is interesting to me that, like, Dallas ISD is in school until Friday. Our school is in school until next Friday. But the number of kids who are away at camp already, who are on vacation right now, all that kind of stuff, And, my children would murder me. Again, I'm not judging. If you choose to do that, that's your thing. You probably have good grades, perfect attendance, all that. Good for you, whatever you want to do. But my children would murder me, like straight up in my sleep, axe murder me, if I were to say, you know what, we're just going to skip school next week. Because they love the last week of school. The last week of school is so just balls out. Like they just do whatever they want, wear whatever they want. Because our school has already suspended uniforms pretty much for the rest of the term. They're watching movies. They're doing field day, although it's too hot to do field day right now. All that kind of stuff. My kids, they're so social with school. They would be mad. Parents are pissed because DISD didn't make up the time and tacked it on to the end of the year. They're leaving out for family vacation. I know, but how would they have made up for the time? Because there was no opportunity to make up for the time, right? Unless they added, like Monica's school, I think added 15 minutes to each day, which I question that in an educational sense. But and then Eric is saying, on a totally unrelated note, his husband Mark went to our friend Chad's swearing in at the Meyerson this morning. So scaled back. Each council member could invite 12 guests. It's so interesting to me, right? So other schools added 10 to 12 minutes each day. Yeah, Carrie. See, I actually think I have more respect for DISD in the sense of them saying, no, we are going to have educational days, like actual days. We're not going to kind of add, what are you doing those 15 to 20 minutes? Have a study hall? A little longer lunch? Like that's just, I don't know. I just feel like that is such a bullshit move, honestly. And Monica, I know that your school did that. I saw someone else say something earlier that I wanted to get to that I forgot to see. No, I guess not. I guess I caught. If you said anything, Carrie, do we get our peaches this week? Don't we? Isn't it like June 18th? I think. So anyway, well, that is all I have today. Be sure to save energy. If you're anyone other than me, please raise your thermostats to 78 degrees. And my mom does love liver and onions. Well, you're a good eater on the biblical buffet, Mama. And our peaches come this Friday. So, and Eric is saying, as a DISD teacher, I'm not thrilled, but I appreciate their transparency. This June 18th has been published since last September. Exactly. This is my thing exactly. How are people surprised by this? How is anyone surprised by this at all? Do not get it. And there's a lot of kids that need the extra school time, and 15 to 20 minutes a day are not going to help them, particularly within the DISD schools. So, all righty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. Have I hit you? So y'all have the Restoration Hardware menu now. It's been posted in the comments. And there's something else I was going to send that I've already forgotten about. Remind me, whoever that was. And with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. This is good therapy for me. It also gets me talking because I'm not doing a lot of that during the day. It's how to turn off the alerts. That's what I was going to send you, Jackie. How to turn off the alerts. Thank you. With that, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.